It's Robin Crockett, the owner of Heaven Sent Home Cleaning, and for the last 31 years, we've been supporting families.
Okay, well, Robin Crockett is joining me now. And if you're like me, it's the time of year when you want to do some spring cleaning. You can see Robin is joining us now. I'm so glad she came here. I found you on Instagram because I thought your tips were really good and I had not heard them before. Robin owns Heaven Sent, like SCENT, right?
Smell,
I
yes.
love that. Heaven Sent Home Cleaning. You've been doing this for decades now. I want to get to some good advice because I've kind of had that bug in me the past few weeks of like, I want to clean things out. I want to really deep clean. You want to get to the bottom of things. We've been inside all winter. With cleaning, you say there's something that wastes time often.
Yes, and one of the things I think that people need to be aware of is that organizing and cleaning are two separate tasks. And I think that sometimes people get overwhelmed, Susan, because they want to do both at the same time. And so I think because we've just went through this whole winter season, you know, in Minnesota we have 4 seasons, I think that it's better to just kind of get rid of the clutter and the boots, if that makes sense, in the mudroom, and kind of get those, and then start the cleaning tasks and put things away, because I think that with the clutter, it's harder to get to surfaces.
I think that's such a good tip, that cleaning and organizing are not the same things.
No.
Do the organizing first, then the cleaning. Okay, one of the big tips you have about cleaning, you have these colored rags right here. And you say they're very purposely different colors. Explain your rag system.
So this is our system, and at Heaven Sent, I like my teams because it is a team cleaning company. This is for kitchens, it's blue. Then we also use yellow for dusting, white for bathrooms, and this is our secret weapon, the Dr. Huck's rag for mirrors. And the reason I do this is because I don't want my teams cross-contaminating spaces in people's homes, because the purpose is to clean and to make things sanitary. And if you're cross-contaminating things, it can cause bugs, bacteria. We all know we've got the sniffles, especially in Minnesota. Our kiddos are not always feeling well, and we want to make sure that we separate things so that way it keeps us clean and healthy.
Okay, and I know you said that this one is for glass and windows. And I noticed on one of your videos too, when we're cleaning our mirrors, do we start at the top? What's our formula there?
You would start at the top. In my video, I talked about how, you know, people do a little squirt, Susan, but you really need to get the mirror wet. And then make sure, if you see it streaking, you have to understand that lights are heat. And so if you see your mirror streaking, one of my tricks that I learned at Heaven Sent Home Cleaning is I turn the lights off and then clean the mirror, because what's happening is it's not your rag necessarily, it's actually the heat from the mirror, from the lights making your mirror streak. And so it sounds
flip your lights off.
And then dry it really good.
Such a good tip. We're seeing one of the houses that was beautifully cleaned by Heaven Sent right there in that video. But one more thing I got to know about stovetops. I can never get mine clean.
Well, you know, I have a secret weapon for that.
Bring it on.
And it's called the pummie. And with the pummie, it's a pumice rock. It's easily accessible. It's available at Menards for $1.89. You cannot beat this. I showed a stove to Susan. I sent it over to your producer to see a stove that anybody else would have said was a lost cause. It was from a rental property and it was a mess. It was full of grease. You've seen it, Susan, I'm sure. This pummie with some warm water and a little bit of Ajax brought that stove to brand new at that rental property for that landlord that we did that cleaning, and I did clean that stove. So if you see it, pumice. It's called pummie though. The pummie.
Pummie.
Yes.
That's a good tip.
And you have to make sure it's wet. And you cannot use it on stainless steel. So I just want to give that warning that this is not for stainless steel. This has to be wet, and the stove top has to be wet. And even Corning top stoves that have the rings.
Yes, those seem like impossible.
This is perfect for that.
Pummie.
Pummie. Pummie.
And look at this. You got all the answers, Robin.
I love it.
Okay, well, we're going to have you back on because I want to talk about more tips. But in the meantime, Heaven Sent Cleaners, because some people are going, I just don't want to clean it all. You have a company and you help, right?
Yes.
Heaven Sent Cleaners, you guys are on Instagram, Facebook. And you have a website.
Yeah, and we have a website. It's www.heavensentHomeCleaning.com. I've been serving the metro area for the last 30 years, and it's just what I do. It's what I love to do.
We're going to have you back on. I know you have an app too. We'll talk about that next time. Thank you so much, Robin.
Yes, thank you.
Wonderful. Good tips there.